Alright, welcome back. So we got the VK56 back in the bay, but actually since you saw it in episode 2, the 14 was out, 13 was in. We test fitted it with the production mounts just because it was a different chassis. We just wanted to make sure everything was lined up as it should be. So we got the 14 back in the shop, put the headers on the 14 just to double check clearances and see what we need to change to get the production headers going. So now we're going to rip the motor trans back out again. But we're gonna strip the bay down, get this seam sealing gunk out of here, stitch weld it, clean up our tub situation, and then get on to some fun stuff. I can't hump it, never mind.
Seems I'm playing around right now with heat gun. Never used a heat gun on it. Had success with a little propane torch in the past, but there's seam sealers stuck in between these two panels when they adhere at the factory, and so you need to make it expand as much as you can so you can scrape off as much as you can, so that way when you go to seam weld it doesn't get into your weld and contaminate your weld as much. I can't say at all because that's never going to happen. You're always going to have nastiness coming out at some point. So use a MIG welder. Don't take it. It'll be a mess. Bad time. It's just cold in the shop, so I'm just trying to make the adhesive a little more pliable. So yeah, so it scrapes a little bit easier. Otherwise it's really hard, as you can see. It hasn't been heated up yet. Yeah, so that's about it. That's what I'm going to do for the next hour or so. And I've tried wire wheeling it. I've tried several different things, and honestly a screwdriver with a little bit of heat is probably your best bet to start. And then when you get it cleaned up to maybe this point, you can wire wheel a little bit just to clean it up a little more before you go and weld it.
So we got 10 inches done.
Yep.
And
rows and rows and rows to go.
Alright. Making progress on the engine bay. Got most of the bay side seams.
Yep, making progress.
Or having beers with the engine bay. Good for these mind-numbing jobs. But yeah, getting the engine bay side of things taken care of. My snow camo paint job is slowly going away. But yeah, when you get into it, like here's some good stuff. There's just a little bit of rust and moisture, whatever that gets trapped in the sealer. Obviously we've never taken it off before, like when I spray painted the bay originally. Or down along the side over here, if the light cooperates. So like that's all factory, or was factory sealer, or sealant there. And yeah, moisture and just whatever finds its way behind there, even I guess before painting or after painting or whatever, but pretty superficial stuff, but it kind of feels good to, you know, get in there and get it cleaned up a little bit. It's day 27 of stripping the bay. We're not making any progress.
Dork.
For some reason just forgot to record a bunch of stuff, but we got the bay pretty well. I mean, it is stripped. It's now at least the original white color, and seam or stitch weld, or what is it? Spot welded? What the hell do you call it?
Seam weld?
Seam weld? Stitch weld? Yeah, but stitch welding everything in the bay, and then plating off these old nasty holes that were here, and doing what I've been calling a motorsports shave job on the bay. So we cut, this one's probably easier to see because it's still being tacked in, but we just drew up and cut some delete panels that are going in all the big holes. But it is going to be a track car, so you know, don't need that Volkswagen level shave job on everything where the engine bay looks fake. And did the underside as well. And then got a little bit more to do in the bay. Gonna get rid of the AC holes, the main wire harness hole, AC drain, and I used to have a 12 or a positive battery cable come from the rear mounted battery coming through this hole, so get rid of all that. Probably keep the heater holes because we're gonna run some sort of, at least a defroster setup. Greg's back here.
Murdering a window.
Hopefully not murdering a window. We want to put this thing back in. He's removing a window.
Yeah, removing, that's what I meant.
Yeah. But getting that out of the way so we can make way for cage stuff. Something to note, so this had the black spray paint on it. You gotta get rid of all that crap because it was super brittle, as you saw in the other videos where it's flaking off. But for anybody else doing their bay paint prep stuff, you see it all the time on the forums. I guess nobody uses forums anymore, but you see it all the time where someone's like, hey, I'm gonna paint my car, and they strip it down to bare metal. You definitely don't need to do that. The reason you see so much metal blasted through on here is just because it's faster to get the crappy spray paint off. See if I can find an example. You'd want to ideally just scuff the factory paint, but if you blow through that, then you have that green coat or the E coat or whatever, which is still fine. You want to retain as much of that as you can. You don't want to go to shiny bare metal. So yeah, for all you kids out there like, hey, I'm just gonna sand it down and start painting, don't do that. The engine bay's pretty much done. We just have to grind down a couple of welds where we filled in some holes, and then we'll probably just do a thin coat of filler or whatever to smooth out this. But otherwise it's all stitch weld or seam weld, whatever you want to call it. And we got our delete plates in to smooth out this ugly ass hole that was here. And then we cut some panels to delete all those random holes in the bay, and got those tacked into place. One thing that I did all the stitch welding in the bay, or the spot welding in the bay. I always thought I would like measure it out and like really do a nice job and all that stuff. But once you get into it, you realize how tedious that is, and you just start dit as you go along. But yeah, so the bay's pretty much done. We're gonna move on to the interior, work on the cage.